Legionnaire, it seems that you've arrived just in time for the end.
You should be with your people, Lazar.
If I could reach them...
He's right. The entire West Wing has collapsed. Returning to town is impossible.
What could have caused the war?
Look! The signs are all around us. Stars. You see? It is folly to think of hope.
Are you...
Excellent point. I've always wanted to do this. To travel by causeway like the Legionnaires of old.
I'm happy for you. It would be a shame to get this...
It's easy to get disoriented in there. Don't wander far from the gate. I'll come and find you.
Oh dear.
Here, take this key. You'll need it to unlock until our paths cross again.
We may not be friends per se, but you know how to fight, I'll give you that. Let's hope we survive this. That thing is ugly. Well here.
Jane Cassandra is close. I came to warn you.
She's called...
Not just the Archons and the Devas. Something much worse.
What's happened to the Archons?
The power at the heart of this forest has been twisted and That is Jane's fault. Though she doesn't understand what she's...
So those four...
No, if even... Nothing. This fort, Jane has tapped that, but it won't matter.
Jane lost...
But I will be with you again, before the end.
The whole forest is breaking apart. We don't have much time.
Jane Cassandra is near. Let us finish this, yes? I have never seen...
So you followed me here. You are stubborn. But you should never have come.
You call them Archons? Their fire is cold and dark. Nothing like me or your handmaids.
No, they are not as they were. But they are bound to me. And they will follow my work. The Archons are not all that has returned. The power of even the creator gods themselves.
Something is taking shape. There, in front of the tree.
are gone. The voices of my mother's gods.
They are lost.
You lie, child.
No, Jane Cassandra. What remained of your mother's gods has been destroyed, and the power of creation has fled this grove. It will never return.
That power was dangerous. Better that it's gone.
No. It was precious. My mother
The power in this forest might have been used to restore the old gods and all their servants to life. Not the twisted half-life that you gave them, Jane Cassandra. A true rebirth, as they were, but you called upon that power to destroy. You twisted the power of creation.
And the Archons I fought in the forest? The ones that...
Dead, wilted like blossom, when you slew the reborn god. In time, the forest will recover. But it will be ordinary.
Why?
Jane, that is why, and that is why Jane could unlock the power.
The forest was already corrupted.
The first time Jane called on the power, she knew she would. After that, the Mornweald grew rotten and sick.
So she came back, and made the same mistake a second...
Yes, driven by anger again. So the Archons that she called back to life were nothing but Mom. It was the same for the Creator God. The creature that you fought was shaped by Jane's fury.
guilt.
Yes, Jane Cassandra. You can hide your remorse from yourself.
We have a decision to make. What to do with Jane.
Not yet. There is one thing more. The other Archons did not lie. You died in this forest.
And you were the one who carried me out of the
I carried you out of the forest, yes. But I didn't give you life. I have no power over the... It could only have been the Creator Gods. Whatever was left of them. That...
If they gave... And Jane? What if...
Think of all the people who call this woman a saint.
I expect no mercy from the Legion. Do as you like.
Before I pass judgment on you...
Why did I slaughter... I was young. So if the other... That was wrong of me. I shouldn't...
You're sorry for kill...
No. You asked for honesty. There you have it.
The Mornweald was sacred.
Montbaron lured me to this place. He believed that I would never dare to strike him down. Not in the presence of my mother's gods.
He was...
That... I will never understand. And Rosalind.
But...
I was... The best claim was mine, save for a technicality of law.
I have no more questions.
And I am ready for your judgment. Though I know what it will be.
No. You won't die today. I promised Rosalind that I'd spare your life.
Little Queen Mouse. I owe my life to that cringing girl. That is a fine irony. Am I to be your prisoner, then? Paraded through the streets in a gilded cage.
Your life belongs to the Queen. We'll turn you over to the royal court. And Rosalind can decide your fate.
Rosalind is soft. She will lock me in a tower, perhaps, but I will hardly suffer at her hands. You are not the Legion I remember. They would have demanded blood for blood. No I accept your judgment of me.
You are bound by your words, Jane Cassandra. The Legion has won. And you will trouble them no more.
It's over then.
For now, you deserve a rest. But
we need to build our strength and train.
You will find many and you will need them. But you've shown yourself to be fit.
We should leave this place, no? Our future
We part ways then. I will be watching. And one day, I will see you again.
You bid farewell to the Radiant Youth, and he sent you back to our chapter house in Stonebridge, where I awaited your return. In the weeks that followed, news spread of Jane Cassinder's defeat. Her army scattered, giving us time to rest and regroup. Martin Guiscard returned safely from the Spire, along with Meister Wolf and the Automaton army. Only a few weeks later, elections were held in Stonebridge. Meister Wolf, who had been so public in his support of the Legion, almost won the office of mayor. But he was defeated in the end. Many people had wanted the dapper old gent to hang. They resented the fact that the Legion had spared his life, and they blamed poor Wolf. After the humiliating events in the Foundry, Meister Castle was forced to resign as Guildmaster of Ironmongers. The Cyclopses negotiated a new contract for higher wages, and with the help of Meister Fiddlewick, formed a new workers' union. For the first time in 100 years, they were permitted to leave the Foundry and spend their newfound wealth in the markets and taverns of Stonebridge. Cyclopses are becoming an increasingly common sight in Stonebridge, and many believe that they will eventually take their place as equal citizens of the town. Archambault du Payen, formerly known as the Dapper Old Gent, proved a valuable addition to the Legion. His knowledge of Legion magic allowed us to retake control of the Sentinels that had long guarded our chapter houses and estates. But the people of Stonebridge still bore him a grudge, so we were forced to send the Gent north for his own safety. There he took possession of Gunderic Manor and all the magic that lay within. In time, the manor will again become a training ground for a new generation of Legion mages. With the reopening of the Heroes' Crypt, pilgrims returned to the Rukenval, and merchants followed. The following winter was harsh, just as Lazar Basili feared. But thanks to the trade from the south, the people of Ravensrill stayed warm and fed. When spring came, many more pilgrims arrived, and the town of Ravensrill grew wealthy again. Lazar and his people built a new stone wall around the town, and reclaimed their abandoned houses and farmsteads from the forest. It is a happy change of fortune for a long-suffering town. Queen Rosalind abandoned Glitterdelve, embarking on a tour of all the cities and towns of the West, meeting as many of her subjects as she could. The Queen showed all the energy of youth, and I think she fully expects to reunite the country in a matter of months, not years. Reality may not be so kind, as Lord Devonsey has tried to make her understand. In truth, the future of this country depends more upon what we decide. If she doesn't have the Legion behind her, the Queen is only a single voice, well-meaning though she might be. As for Devonsey himself, I think the man was impressed by your decision to spare Jane Cassinder, as the Queen had asked. When he last visited Stonebridge, he spent a great deal of time in our chapter house. I believe he might actually be willing to rejoin our ranks, if we choose to accept him. Rajani and her sisters returned to Stonebridge, quietly and carefully disguised. Jane Cassinder's defeat affected them deeply, though not in the way I expected. Their devotion to Jane was replaced by a deep admiration for you. I think they see in you the leader they should have followed all along, and they have lately expressed a desire to join our ranks. I maintain my suspicion of any Archon who once followed Jane, but I believe that redemption is not impossible, even for them. Jane Cassinder was delivered into the hands of the royal court. Just as Jane herself had predicted, Rosalind treated her with compassion and respect. Perhaps the girl queen saw only Jane's royal blood, and she was desperate for some connection to the family she had lost. Jane was treated almost as a member of the court, a prisoner in name only. Many whispered openly that this was no justice at all. It was no surprise that it ended as it did. One morning, Jane Cassinder was found strangled in her bed, a noose around her throat. The noose, many said, it should have hanged her. Surrounded by men and women of the royal court who had suffered terribly at Jane's hands, it was impossible to find her killer. But that was not the greatest mystery of all. For Jane Cassinder had not been bound or restrained in any way. She should have been able to defend herself from her murderers, but she did not. As for the Legion, the rest of our story is yet to be told. We have a nation to reforge, a fellowship to rebuild, and old enemies who would see us destroyed. And we have questions to decide. Who will assume true power in Ebb if the nation is restored? And who will take the mantle of Grand Master? But these matters are leave for another chronicle and another time. Whatever happens, know that you will not face the future alone. The Legion will stand by you, always.